All right, guys, we're back in front of 6203 Galaxie, also Richmond, Virginia. We were here about 2 weeks ago, and I couldn't even see from me to James when we were filming because the grass was so high, everything was overgrown. So what I'm going to show you is what happens in a very quick period of time with a home. This one here, first and foremost, we took the grass and just all the landscaping and turned it from the jungle into something that was somewhat presentable. On the exterior, we've done some work where we have done painting and we have cleaned it up. And then as I show you inside the home, what we've done inside is we've just gotten from demo to drywall to finishes. We're just starting finishes now. So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about the critical path of construction, okay? Doing things in sequence that make a lot of sense. The other thing we're going to talk about is making sure you're building a home that is appropriate for the end buyer. This is very important because if you do it the right way, you're going to get the most for the house. And the other thing that's going to happen is you're not going to have to sit on the market or wait. So we're going to go in. I'm going to show you a few things going on inside the house right now. Okay, so we're still at this house, but I want to point something out to you real fast. We're probably not going to win any production awards for sound quality. And the reason for that is we got road work over one shoulder, we got painters, we got hardwood guys, we got a ton of different things going on. Do you remember last time we were here I told you that it smelled terrible and that was the smell of money? Well, guess what? People moving sounds, that's the sound of money. I would much rather have it really loud on this video than have nobody behind me working on the house. So we're going to have to just use site conditions and work through them. As we've talked about before, time is money, and we pay interest, taxes, insurance on houses just like you do, I'm sure. So what I want is as many people working on a house at any given time than we possibly can have. So we're gonna have to deal with some noise. When we go inside this house, one of those noises that you hear behind me is sanding of hardwood floors. It's messy, it's gross, puts up a ton of dust, but what we do is take old hardwood floors, sand them down, refinish them, and make them really nice and pretty. And the reason for that is because it's relatively inexpensive, the material is already in place, and this buyer loves hardwood floors. So instead of putting something else down that's less, maybe a little bit less expensive, we want to appeal to that particular buyer. All right, let's go inside and take a look. As we walk through this house, what you're going to notice is we've boxed in this kitchen. The stills that you're going to see are going to show you some of the befores and now the afters with what the kitchen looked like. This kitchen will appeal to this buyer. It also gives it a really nice feel. In addition to that, we've done a couple of pop features. We put something up on the wall in the kitchen, and what we're going to do is stain that. Now when I bring you back to this house, it's going to be finished and staged, so you'll be able to see the before, the middle, and the after. From a construction staging standpoint, and when you do things with critical path, you want to do it this way. You want to start with the rough product, groom it, manicure it, make it look somewhat appealing, but make it so it's usable for the people that need to do the work. Then what you do is you do the big items and you finish with the small items. So things like framing, drywall, electrical rough-in, you do that stuff first. Then you do the finish items, which we're doing today is hardwood and tile, and then behind it we put in cabinets and things along those lines. Well, you do everything in sequence so that way your contractors can go as fast as possible. I said there's people working, that's good, because it just prevents us from paying extra interest or extra carrying costs on the house because we're going in the right sequence. We're inside 6203 Galaxie now. Now if you compare what we looked like before to what we look like now, it's a huge difference. First thing you notice, number one, James, you smell it? Not anymore. It was awful before. So we fixed that problem just with new construction, get rid of a bunch of junk. Second, we've reconfigured the interior of the house. It took it from a very dated concept to now it's a very modern, open concept. Instead of me moving around, I'll show you some stills of this, but let me tell you what we've done. First, we've moved a few interior walls. Nothing load-bearing, but we wanted to open this place up and give it a cool, modern feel. Second, we put accent features up. Behind me, you can see a wall that's not yet stained, but will be, and it's going to tie in really well with the kitchen and the hardwood floors. Now, when I was outside, I told you it's really loud in here. It's not loud now, so I convinced everybody to take a quick smoke break so we could get some filming to show you. But what we're doing now is sanding down that hardwood and finishing everything up inside. What you're going to see today is kind of that sequence process with scheduling, and you're going to see the finishes. So we've done the demo, we've done the major stuff, we're doing some of the in-betweens now, and then the finishes will all happen in the next week or so we can get this house ready for market. Let me show you a couple of other things that we've done that will really accentuate the work and making it ready for market. Design elements are going to be hugely important to you being successful as a home flipper. In this particular house, what we've done, as I mentioned a second ago, is we opened up some walls. Now, none of this requires a permit because they're not load bearing, but what we've done is we've changed the configuration of the home. There used to be a wall that ran across here. We've opened it and put the wall here. The reason for this is it gives us a well-defined kitchen, which this buyer wants, but at the same time, when you walk in the front door, it gives you an open feel. In addition to that, we had to be very smart. If you have 4 people living in this home or need 4 bedrooms, there are 4 bedrooms, but you're not going to have an extra room for a television. So what we did is we finished this wall out so we could put a TV against it for staging. Behind it, the kitchen is not huge. This is a 1,300 square foot house, but it's more than enough for a 1,300 square foot house. And we built it this way with this wall, with TV on this side, but then back in here, what we have is a wide open kitchen that has a fridge, a well-appointed set of cabinets and countertops, and then it's going to have a pop feature on that back wall of a well-tiled in range. And this was all done very much purposefully because we wanted to appeal to that buyer. So as you can see, it's wide open now. And the reason for that is because we wanted to appeal to a certain buyer. Last time we were here with this house, it had an owner's bedroom back here and an owner's bath. But what we've done is we've reconfigured the owner's bath and reconfigured the owner's bedroom. We've made the bedroom bigger, given it an ample closet, and we've also given it a secondary room that you'll be able to see through the stills. Now, the reason we did this is we consulted with our realtor who told us what this house needs. It needs a high impact owner's bathroom, which is going to have. It needs an open bedroom with a ton of closet space, which this is going to have. We get so nuanced in how we're going to figure out who's going to buy the house. We think this buyer ends up having a queen size bed. So it's designed for a queen size bed and will be staged with a queen size bed. The other thing you're going to notice is it's just open. It's got a different feel. It's got lots of places where we can put some pop. Now, we're not quite finished. So at the midterm, it looks good, but you're not going to be able to fully see what it's going to look like finished. But the thinking here is we want to steer towards who's going to buy the house. We know who our buyer is, we know the price point we're trying to hit, and the finishes we're going to give are going to help us get there. But the floor plan is really important. You have to pick the right floor plan, have the right game plan going in up front, and if you design that and finish it right, you're going to sell it fast and maximize your profit. So what you've seen from the first video to this video is the progression. We've talked a lot about construction scheduling and making sure you do the big stuff before you do the medium stuff, before you do the small stuff at the very end. It's kind of the way that it goes. Right now, if we use a football analogy, we're probably on the 30-yard line. In the next week, we're going to get in the red zone and we're going to finish this house inside of about 10 days. The other thing that's really important that I wanted to capture in this home is show you not only what it looked like before, but what the vision was, and then what the vision looks like at the midpoint. Now, the vision has to be set up front. The reason you set that vision is because you're trying to attract a certain type of a buyer and you need to give them something really good for the market. At this point, what you want to see is what's reality versus what was conceptual in the beginning. We are now framed, so reality has set in, but you have to get to there. And by getting there, you have to be mindful of real world conditions can change what's going to happen. If you watch the famous TV shows where people flip houses, they show you the before, they show you the concept, and they show you the after. And they're not all the same. So it's up to you or your team to make sure that as things change in the field, you make good decisions that give you ultimately what you want. It's not going to be exactly the same, but as long as it's close, it's going to get you where you want to be for a finished product. So for now, I say goodbye and tell you that we'll be back to this house when it's completely finished and we can show you all the finishes. All right, guys, Frank Cava, experienceinvestor.com. I'll talk to you again soon.